Hi, it's Dr. Bob Graykowski, your peak performance doctor and creator of the Better Brain Blueprint. I don't know about you, but it seems like there's so much information coming at us on a daily basis. You know, checking our emails, watching the news, and all the confusing, conflicting processes about our overall health. So, as a practicing doctor for over 30 years, my main focus is to reduce stress on the nervous system and set up a healthy environment for your body to heal and to live as vitalized as possible. Dealing with head trauma, been doing this since the late 70s, working in physical therapy with head trauma and spinal cord patients. But this process became very personal in 2002. It was my wife's birthday, and I had hired her pilot to fly us up and take some pictures over the Tahoe area. And we landed on our property up there, and we're taking some pictures. As we started to take off, there was a pilot error, and the tail rotor hit the tops of the trees and thrust the helicopter in downward spiral. So we started to go at a very accelerated rate down in this canyon and crashed on a pile of rocks. We hit with such horrific force that the tail end of the helicopter was found 200 yards away down in the canyon. The entire helicopter was demolished. This process of hitting the trauma annihilated everything, and my wife was knocked out, I was knocked out, and the pilot. So I was in the center, and my wife was out for about 5 minutes, and she suffered a traumatic brain injury. Initially, everything seemed to be okay, but within 24 hours, she started having these micro seizures where she would actually start to have almost like a mini stroke. She'd lose the right side of her face and couldn't use the right side of her body. Over the next 90 days, we sought 3 different neurologists to find out what can we do in this because of this traumatic brain injury. I dealt with some of this in physical therapy many years before, but not to this extent, especially your wife. And so I started to seek out the best neurologists, the best head trauma, the best patients or physicians around the world to find out what's the best way to treat head trauma. This quest, back in 2002, over several years led me to start to take care of a lot of head trauma patients, kids with autism, attention deficit, shaken baby syndrome, and treat a lot of patients with dementia and Alzheimer's with great results. The good news is my wife, within about a 1-year period of time, made pretty much a complete recovery. They wanted to medicate her, put her on all these different drugs, but my philosophy has always been to set up an environment for her body to heal without drugs, without surgery. So this quest to find answers for my own family, my own personal, my wife, and allow the healing has translated into my practice. We now treat dozens of head trauma patients that come from all around the area, now of the country, to actually take care of people that can start to recover from these traumatic brain injuries. Dr. Amen, who has done over 80,000 SPECT scans on the skull and the brain, finding where circulation can be affected. What it does is the circulation can be measured around the skull. So our form of treatment that we use is cranial work. Different levels of the brain can stimulate. This is our thought processes, our front part of our brain, what's called a prefrontal cortex. These are more of our motor, our muscular centers. This is where we take in a lot of information, stimulation, sensory information from the outside. These are visual fields. These are auditory fields. These are speech centers. And based upon where a trauma is, you can actually stimulate and affect the different bones of the skull and different adjustment process to allow better circulation, better alignment of the spinal cord, taking pressure off of the covering around the skull, and allowing better circulation for the nerve tissue to heal. A thing called neuroplasticity is one of the most popular things in brain science right now, showing how our brain can actually heal and we can rewire itself through very specific movements of the body, very specific visual processes of the eyes, very specific auditory stimulation, very specific sensory stimulation, nutritional factors, and we incorporate all of that into our Better Brain Blueprint. So on a weekly basis on this blog, I'll be sharing information about how to keep your brain healthy. It is the most important vital organ in your entire body. So in our office, we treat this on a regular basis, but the information Many doctors have come up to me after I speak at conferences and say, you need to share this information. There's so many people out there that are just, they have the belief system that they cannot heal. Well, that's not true. Your body has an amazing ability to heal, especially through the brain and the nervous system. So with our Better Brain Blueprint, we take you through a step-by-step process to learn how to set up environment for your body to become stronger over days, over weeks, and over months, and over years, so that you can live a more vitalized life. I welcome you to stay in contact with our blog on a weekly basis. And if you're interested in finding out more, the Better Brain Blueprint is the place you should go, because it shows you step by step how to put all these action steps into play. So thank you for joining us today, and stay in touch. We want to share this information with you so we can impact the lives of thousands and even millions of people around the world. Until next time, this is Dr. Bob signing out.